And listen, it's hard, man.
Oh, it's so hard.
And it's hard to make a living.
I've bombed every acting audition I've ever gone in.
First of all, what you need to do is, do you work with a coach?
No.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the
So
huge
you need to work with somebody, because I still do to this day.
Still have a
and
coach.
Jim Gandolfini worked till the end
with a coach.
with someone.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
That's what I was going to ask. Did you take classes before any of
I
this?
didn't. I didn't even have headshots.
Yeah.
I had the job first, and I got the headshots later. No lie.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
How
then
often
I
does that
started
happen?
taking some classes before the audition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not classes. One-on-one.
One-on-one,
coach.
sure.
I'm not a class guy.
Yeah.
So the guy would come up, believe it or not, come up to my office. He would come up to my office at the hotel. I would shut the door.
That's great.
And we were giving. He was a local casting director, Ray Favero. Beautiful guy. He's very sick now, and he was a huge help to me at the beginning. He worked on my audition when I got the call back and I went back. He helped me a lot. And to this day, I'm doing Blue Bloods. She comes over once or twice an episode.
Yeah.
Runs lines with me. We talk. You
That's
need
amazing.
class.
Yeah.
You're not a natural. I don't
Oh,
want to
no,
hear
not at
any of
all.
that. I don't need it. And that'll help you. The more prepared you are,
Yeah.
the less nervous you'll be in the audition.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know
Because
what it is about just two people. You give me 1,000. It's much
You
easier.
could just listen. You could only control what you can control.
Yeah.
You walk into an audition. You're too fat. You're too skinny.
Right.
You're too this. You're too that. You look too much like the lead.
Yep.
You know. It's a million things. But if you're prepared, you did your homework. You go in there. You say, I don't know if I'm going to get the job, but I just want to do what I want to do in there.
Yeah.
And even the first Soprano audition. Listen, I bombed a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went in. I couldn't run to the elevator fast enough. So that still happens.
Right.
I couldn't run fast enough. I mean, that still happens. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got to be prepared, and a lot of people don't prepare. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, you're saying you get nervous. Well, you need to find someone, and you got to work on that.
Yeah.
One time I walked in, the role I was reading for, it was called Big Tiny. And I said that I'm Big Tiny reading for the role of Dan LaMorte. And I was so embarrassed and mortified. I just wanted to run
Yeah.
out of the room. Didn't even get my name right.
Yeah. My coach always says, like, all you can do is go in and give them what you've got. And if they don't want, I mean, there's no.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you want to do a good job. Listen, I just went on tape for something yesterday.
Yeah.
I still have to audition at times.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times I won't, and then I'll just pass. I mean, I've got a whole lot of TV.
Right.
If you just want me to play kind of the same thing, I'm not gonna. I have 300-400 hours of TV.
Right.
But you got to be prepared, and no one is just they go, he's a natural. He's a natural. I don't need lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you need lessons, but you need to be prepared. Know what you're going to do in there. Have it on your mind. This is what I'm going to do, because that's where the luck's going to come in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to go. Yeah, I got lucky. Listen, I wasn't even going to go to this audition today. Luckily, I went and I got the role, and this was fantastic. What luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you weren't prepared,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have got the job.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's no chance of the luck because you're unprepared.
Do you go in? I'm auditioning for stuff, and it's frustrating because it's like, do you go in giving them what you think they want, or you just go in kind of like, here's what I think is.
You got to go in and you got to make a choice.
Yeah.
Before you're in that room, you got to make a choice.
Right.
And so you go in, and this is how I see this guy.
Right.
And if they may go, all right, thanks, next. Or they may go, this guy's not as angry. This guy's...
Right.
And you need, and that's a big thing,
Yeah.
to make the adjustment. They want to see that you're making that
Yeah.
adjustment. If you can't, they're not hiring.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I went in. It was for a voiceover audition, and I was like, I don't know what they want. And then I went in an audition, and then I saw the person going in after me was a British girl. I was like, oh, they don't know what they want, like,
Most of the time, they don't.
yeah.
Most of the time, they don't know until they see it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do believe, and I've talked to directors and casting people, and sometimes as soon as you walk in their head they're going, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's what I had in mind when I wrote this.
Yeah.
Now if he could only act.
I saw you in it was a pilot. I don't know if they ended up making it into a web series in casting. Do you remember the show Casting? Yeah, I'm good friends with the woman who made it, Nina.
Nina's great.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's one of my closest friends. She's
Yeah,
great.
Nina and Lawton are two people who have helped me tremendously. But it's it's funny to see their perspective of just kind of what they have to go through, because I imagine it's it's accurate what
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
That's really good what they did.
Yeah.
Judy Gold and
Yeah, it was
Richard
super
Kind, and
super funny.
Janine Garofalo.
Right, they were
Yeah.
going. We
And that
needed
was a
G.
lot of-
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to be prepared. That's the only advice. I mean, there's no magic thing. And the stuff about, well, I know someone. Listen to me. I don't give a shit if your father owns the Yankees.
right,
You got to hit the curveball.
right.
Yeah.
So when you get in that room, you got to deliver the goods.
Yeah,
End of story. Maybe your connection might have got you into the room, but nobody's giving up the role as a favor unless it's, 2 lines.
right,
Or,
Yeah.
or 2 words.
right.
Nobody's giving it to you. So you got to go in and compete, and it sucks.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
thing sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a tough business. It's a great business, but and you meet some
Did
great
it take
people.
you a while to get used to from switching over from being on kind of the industry side of things for a second?
I think it's helped me because I'm smarter than business-wise than your average.
Oh, for sure. I mean, how old are you when this
guy,
that
actor.
first
I've
role?
I've done listen, well, not the first role. I started in my early. I started about 33, 34,
Cool.
getting a little bitch shit here
Yeah.
and there, and then I've been making a living 20 years. Okay, 20 years. I'm actually making a living
Yeah.
as an actor. What was the question again?
I was just asking. I asked how old you were at that first
Oh,
role.
at that time when I got on the Sopranos, I think I was 41.
Yeah,
41 years old, 2 kids.
Yeah.
I took a shot. Listen, my wife, she could have said, "What are you, out of your mind?
Yeah.
Look at this life we live." Well,
Right.
I was looking. Are you out of your mind? We could. What are you doing? Why? Fuck up the apple cart here? But she was all for it.
All
she
for
said,
it.
"Let's go. I'm in."
I love that.
And then what's funny is, so I'm at the hotel. I give my notice in 2000. So I was there 14 years, and I say, to my boss, I said, I could still book the club.
Yeah.
So they hired me as a consultant for 10 years.
No shit.
So all them years on The Sopranos, I was still booking.
Oh, that's great.
Chris Rock said to me, "You're still fucking around with
Yeah.
that?" I went, "Hey man, it's easy money."
Yeah, right.
And I get to, and I'm not lying about this. I got to hire my friends.
Yeah.
People that needed it, guys that weren't working much. Because then the money came down and
Yeah.
Vegas kind of hit the shit a little bit. And these guys weren't working at all. And I was still able to, some of these older guys, I was
Yeah.
still able, Johnny Dark and Kip Adada and a whole slew of them that no one was hiring.
And you got to give back
They
a
still
little.
worked in Vegas, you
Yeah.
know. It still worked for them, you know.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And as far as the stand-up, I've never tried to do
So
stand-up.
you host the show at
I've
Madison
hosted.
Square
I could
Garden.
do that. I've hosted shit. I could do a monologue. I
That's
could
a
do
yearly show?
stuff like that. It's every other year.
Every other year.
But I was a correspondent for Leno.
Okay.
I did 40 episodes of Leno. I was a man on the street.
Yeah.
And I used to say, I could do that. I would watch and I would go, I think I could fucking do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this to myself. And so I went on in 2002, I think it was. I had a book out, and I went on as a guest on the
Yeah.
panel. And he said, "Hey, why don't you do something, afterwards? Why don't you?" So a year goes by, and I don't know why. I guess I was busy, and I said, "You know what? I'm going to try to do it." So we tracked it down, the head writer,
Yeah.
who was a comic, Jack Cohen, and Joe Medeiros, who was the main head writer. Jack used to do the monologue, but I know him from the old days, and they put me together, and Joe who was a great guy, head writer, Tonight Show 21 years, funniest fucking guy.
Yeah.
Funniest guy. If I call him when I'm hosting some, I said, Joe, I need 20 jokes on reality TV. Like a machine.
Yeah, it doesn't even take
Guy's a
him.
machine.
Yeah.
So he called me. He never saw The Sopranos. He said, "Hey, let's try one. Come out to California." So they flew me,
Yeah.
and I did something, and then we just kept on doing them, man. And I
Yeah.
did I think I was a guest on Leno 3 times, in the chair, and then like 37 men on the streets.
Wow.
Just fucking
37.
around, and he was with me the whole time, Joe. And
Yeah.
it was not scripted, but on the spot kind of stuff. He
Right.
would be off camera to my
Yeah.
side, and I would hit the streets, and we did all kinds of. We did a segment called Steve the Judgmental Bastard. You should look it up. They're really funny.
Yeah.